10 years ago, co2 was 300 kilometres from any chainsaws. Then it was 30 kilometres, and then 5 years ago, a gang of loggers walked into the village and offered them $10,000 for their 40 cedar trees. And so while it's easy to paint the loggers as a terrifying destructive force, the real driver to deforestation here is poverty. The real issue instead is finding an alternative for a community that's been dependent on the rainforests for absolutely everything for generations, for a community that in return has been the best possible custodian of that rainforest, right up until the point when poverty and the pressures of change means the last asset they have to sell is that forest. This sort of piecemeal destruction, let's call it degradation, is now the biggest threat facing the rainforest.
Rainforest, that's our lifeline. That's where the birds and animals inhabit. That's where they live.
We depend on the forest.
And our forests depend on us.
We are in this together.
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 I love my forest. I have a nice forest, so I want to keep my forest safe.
The loss of the tropical forests is rightly recognised as a global emergency. It's about how we can achieve development to give people options so that they don't have to destroy what they know themselves is an irreplaceable and wonderful asset that they'd much rather keep intact. So behind me is an enormous specimen of big-leafed mahogany, one of the world's most valuable timber tree species, and as a result for centuries has been targeted by loggers as a source of extreme wealth. The value of these kinds of trees means that people are still willing to break the law to get hold of them. This one is growing in the co2 indigenous reserve in Peru, in the Peruvian Amazon, and hopefully because of the people's attitude towards forest conservation here, this tree may grow even bigger still.
Often as not, a tree will be sold off to realise short-term cash for medicine, for fuel, for food. And Cool Earth has come up with a way of offering an alternative to that. All the decisions are made on the ground by local people.
We earn almost 60 to 70 kina a day.
To tell you honestly, it changes the life of my family.
The standard of the family has improved.
Para mí, despejarse la mente, tranquila. Ya, como hemos aprendido a vivir en el bosque más.
We have to protect the trees for our birds and our animals. We want the forest to be seen by our next generations. And we don't want the forest to be destroyed.
If the people here can actually be given the assistance to lift up their quality of life to the point where they can continue to develop in the sense of improving indicators that everyone in the world is concerned about. Do you have a decent diet? Do you have enough fresh water? Are your kids healthy? If those indicators can be pushed up, then perhaps they're going to be able to do what culturally they seem to want to do, which is to protect their homeland. I mean, after all, they've been here for thousands of years.
Next time you think about saving the rainforest, put your support instead behind local people, because they'll always get the most out of keeping the rainforest safe. But boy, will we all benefit.